Good morning, everybody. It is live, well, afternoon. It's live with Laura every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this week, I'm very excited because we're going to talk about 3 steps to organizing a productive day. And I know, especially now, we all try to be productive, but there's so much distraction that's going on in the world, right? What does organized really mean these days? And productive as a whole has a whole new spin on it this year. You know, sometimes we're just trying to get through the day. At the same time, those of us with businesses need to forge ahead and create a path to success with all the tools and means at our disposal. So today, we're going to talk about the 3 steps to organizing a productive day. Okay. And I want to keep it really simple because it really can be that simple for you. The first one, number 1, is to have a plan. Okay. So now this can mean many different things to many different people. So let me outline the top 5 ways to create a plan that will help you stay productive. Okay. Now, A is, or 1A, is what outcomes do you want at the end of the day? Be clear about this. Once the day is done, what are you looking to have accomplished? Because I think that we can have a lot of outcomes, but really a lot of the time when we go into a meeting or we're going into a project or we're doing a document or whatever it is we're working on, we know what we kind of want to get out of it and where it's going to go, but we don't have an established outcome. I think that if you have that established before you begin something, then you're going to be not only a lot more focused on what you're doing, but B, you're going to be swinging what you're doing towards getting to that outcome. So you're going to be very focused about that. Okay. B is what I'm doing contributing to my business, right? I mean, you may love to talk to people and do networking constantly, but is this activity bringing you clients? And not only that, when you do book meetings with some of the people that you meet, do you have an outcome that you're looking for, right? Or is it just you're chatting for 20 minutes? What do you do? What do you do? And that's it, right? So I really think you need to be smart about that kind of thing. So is it contributing to your business? I know that in the last, I would say 6-8 months, I've cut out a lot of the networking that I did because when I started to ask myself this question, is it contributing to my business or is it bringing me business? A lot of those answers were no. Though I established some really great relationships and I can, refer some of those people, which is also very important. It still didn't bring me business. So it has to be a 2-sided thing. So you're helping them, they're helping you, but don't have an expectation about where it's going to go. And if it's more that you're just getting together with the girls to chat and see what's going on, then do it after hours, right? So make sure that when you're doing that kind of stuff, you're doing it with an established outcome and you're going in there to have something that's going to contribute to your business. Okay. So pick and choose what will help you build your business. Okay. C, and have a plan, is use your calendar and list to prioritize your tasks. I don't know what I would do without mine, but I'm not going to get too much into this week because next week I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to spend a lot more time going into lists and calendars and how to use it effectively and just be really clear about things contributing to your business. And D is make sure that your goals are achievable, right? So there's no point giving yourself 50 tasks to do and you get through 5, maybe 3, or even 1. Okay. Because then you're just going to feel disappointed. And you're going to feel like, geez, I spent the whole day, all this stuff happened in between. It wasn't realistic. I'm going nowhere. I'm spinning my wheels, right? Like how much in the last, year have you guys felt like you've been on the hamster wheel, right? And unfocused and just running, going nowhere, right? And you need that to change to be successful in your business. Okay. And so that will create a more productive day for you by getting really clear on what's going to move you forward. Okay. So be realistic about what you get done and make sure that what you get done is in line with the outcomes that you have established that you were going to get by doing these tasks. Okay. So again, it's coming back to the outlines. Okay. Right. So not the outline, the outcomes. So make sure that your outcomes are clear and then everything will fall into place. Okay. And the last one, which is E, which I think is really super important, is Be flexible, right? Today, now more than ever, we could have a plan in our head and everything in 5 minutes could go to pot, right? You just don't know. And this is just everyday life. So sometimes life and business throw us curveballs and you just have to go with the flow. And sometimes when we have a very strong blueprint in our personality, which is someone who's very organized and system oriented, very process oriented, that can make them feel like their whole world is falling apart. So just be clear that you can just let go, get what you can get done, be flexible, deal with the issue at hand. Maybe you've got a massive headache, right? To sit at your screen and keep working with a massive headache just doesn't make sense, right? Self-care is number one, right? So make sure you're taking care of yourself and then taking care of your business, okay? We deal with so much stress on a daily basis that we don't need to add to that unnecessarily, okay? Just stay focused on what you can get done. And the tasks that you pick, don't make them impossible things like world peace. I mean that's a big example, but I'm just saying, like, today I'm going to speak to 50 people and I'm going to promote up, right? Like, make sure that what you're doing is achievable. And I kind of mentioned this before, but I really want to mention again because I feel like we set ourselves up for sabotage if we aren't realistic about what we're doing in the time frame that we're doing it. Okay, so those are the 5 things. So what outcomes? Is it contributing to my business? Use your calendars and your lists. Okay, and make sure your goals are achievable and be flexible. Okay, so creating a plan can really change the way you do business very quickly to make it more impactful, more focused, and create more business for you. Okay. Step number two to organizing a productive day is execute the plan. Okay. So we have a plan. So now we're going to execute the plan. So now it's time to move into action and get working through your daily outcomes. Okay. Now, you want to start with your top 3 most important things to get done. That's how I do it. You may have a different way of doing it. Maybe you can get through 10 things. I think 3 for me is a reasonable amount because I have so many distractions and other things going on in the day that I really have it in my head what I'm going to do and how I'm going to get there. Okay. Now, once you have those 3 priorities, you're going to break those down into smaller steps, one at a time. Okay, so don't break them all into smaller steps at once. Pick your number 1 priority, most important thing that's got to get done first, and then break that down into little steps. So for instance, okay, let's say you're making some prospecting calls for new customers. You want to break this down into easier, smaller steps to get it done. So you could do this. So what I did as an example is I wrote out 7 steps to make this priority number 1 doable. Okay, the first step is have your list of prospects and all their contact information ready to go. Have a script so you know what to say, or at least bullet points down about what you want to cover on the call. Connect with them on a personal level and create a relationship. Don't just make the call about the business. So this is more of a mindset thing when you get into the call, right? But still just as important a step. Be able to deal with objections. So have those things ready before you even get on the call, so that you could use testimonials or you could use stories or examples. Those tend to overcome a lot of objections before they even come to the forefront. Okay. Know what you're selling, or know what you're offering, or know what your opportunity is when you speak to them. And it doesn't just have to be about the opportunity. It might not be a good fit for them, right? So be willing to have them say no, or if they don't like saying no, just say, is there anyone you could think of, who this might help, right? So you really can't come at them directly. You have to establish a relationship and really kind of take the time to deepen that over the call. Okay, so remember, we're doing like 7 steps here. So number 6 is know what your ask or outcome is for the call. Okay, we talked about this a little bit earlier. It's the same thing. So it's this so this is my number 1 priority, is calling prospects, and I need to know what my outcome is. What's my ask? Am I going to ask them to buy something? Am I going to ask them to refer? Am I doing both? Is it a service they can offer me? Like, be clear about what that is. And then be ready to put them into one of 3 categories. Okay. So you either close the sale, They need more time, and you're going to follow up with them, or you're going to send more information or not at this time. And then they go onto a call list, and I follow up in a couple of weeks. Or whatever process you have set up for this. I mean, I know people use different ways of doing follow up. So like that was my prospecting call. That would have been my note: prospecting calls on my list. And I just broke that down into 7 things that I have to have ready before I go in and I do that. I'm not trying to make a big deal about this, but boy, if I follow that list, it's going to make me way more productive on every single prospect call. And I'm going to be able to do more calls in less time and still feel like I'm getting a great connection with the people that I'm working with. Okay. So whether it's prospecting calls or doing a document or doing a live or creating a course, whatever it is that's in your business, speaking, break it down into smaller things that make it more productive for you, so that you can get finished, faster and move on to the next one. And that you feel like you've remained really focused and it's contributing to the outcome that you're looking for. Okay. So you can see how important it is to break down your priorities into smaller steps. They'll be much easier to accomplish. Okay. And next, I would recommend that you use time blocking. Okay. Or some people call it power hours or whatever you want to call it. So make sure that you have an allotted amount of time to finish your tasks. Okay. So when you have chosen your top 3 tasks, make sure you estimate the time that they will take and then break those times down into the increments on your smaller steps so you stay focused. So, each call is going to take, 3 minutes. I'm going to say this, they're going to say this. I've got my list that took me 5 minutes to get ready. So that kind of things, because that's going to keep you really focused and not waste time. But also feel like what you're doing is going to create the outcome you're desiring. Okay. Next, I would recommend removing distractions. Okay. It's easy to take our attention away from things, especially if we aren't so excited about getting them accomplished. And, a lot of us just nowadays have a shorter attention span. So to stay focused, you could do a lot of different things. I mean, I know there's technology out there that you can wear that gets the brainwave into being more focused. Make sure your environment is quiet. You may want music in the background that relaxes you or makes you feel like, so quiet has many different definitions for people. No distractions such as, maybe children or pets who want to play, things that are tempting for you to do or want to get involved in, that aren't going to contribute to you being productive in your top 3. Okay. I know they're fun and all that, but really, if you really want to make a productive day happen, you really have to be a little bit more disciplined about this. And I don't really like that word because that's not the way I live my life. But really, how important is it for you to build your business, be productive, and feel like you're getting somewhere? And that is reflected in your bottom line. So if you're goofing around and stuff and you're not seeing the money come in, or you're not booking the clients, or you're not doing the sale, or whatever it is that you're doing, then there's a reason for that. So just take a look at that. Okay. And finally, I would tell you to take regular breaks. I mean, get up, walk around, stretch, or go and do something in another area than your workspace that allows your brain to shut off for a little bit. Get something to drink. You need to take a break from being in front of the screen or your work and shut your mind down for a bit, because first of all, so much fatigue can happen. I mean, I know I was on screen the other day for so long and I literally had a headache all night, the rest of the night. So I really need to be more mindful of getting up and looking at other things and not being so focused and having that at me all the time. But we don't always have the choice of that, right? So breaks aren't seen as being unproductive, an unproductive activity. It's actually a productive activity that allows you to recharge and come back to your work with a renewed sense of purpose. Okay. So very important. And I think it's underrated because, a lot of the time I think people, well, if I take a break, I'm being seen as lazy and, then I'm off my game and I'm not being productive. And actually it's the opposite of that. You're going to feel recharged and ready to go. Okay. And step number 3, yeah, we're finally there. I know, right? So you've implemented step 1 and 2. My step number 3 is make a new plan, right? So step 1 is make a plan, or sorry, have a plan. Step 2 is execute the plan. And step 3 is make a new plan. So like, why would I make a new plan if I just have a plan? So you've implemented step 1 and 2, and well, it doesn't end there, right? Tomorrow is another day and you're setting yourself up for success for tomorrow. And that's an important part of the plan. A lot of people for their number 3, they would have used something else. Like it could do a section on the 3rd step to organizing a productive day is, getting stuff ready for tomorrow, right? For me, that means making a new plan. Okay. So what you would do is you would take a look at what you didn't get done today, create your list for tomorrow. Okay. The things on your list that you didn't get done, are they still as much of a priority, or have they moved down the list? Are there new priorities that came up today that would be more important and therefore make a more productive day to get those done tomorrow? So really, you're always evaluating your list and where things sit, because things can change from moment to moment, and you want to take advantage of all of those things that are priorities to make them happen in your business and in your life, right? Something incredible could have happened and, I really needed to get something done, but this is more important because it's going to generate revenue or relationships, or it's going to generate more business right away. So yeah, that would go to the top of my list. Okay. And are there other facets of your new plan that you need to include? Maybe you went to a networking event and you really want to connect with everyone right away so that the energy of that, or the connection you had with people, doesn't feel like it's lost over the next few days. All right. Or is it a course that you have to take right away, meeting a client that you just met? What you have to think of is what has come out of today that could be a priority tomorrow. It doesn't make your list longer, or things don't get pushed down, but you just have to make sure you know where things fit in the list, okay, in the priorities, and what the outcomes are that you want from those. And remember, the plan is always changing, evolving, and growing into a new plan, because change, as we've been taught, has to be a painful thing, which is absolutely not true. Change can be glorious. It can create so much for you, so much more ease, so much more fun, so much more money, so many more relationships. You just have to embrace it. And doing this every day will allow you to embrace that change, because it just becomes a part of your routine. And you're just like, yeah, I'll have that. Let's change this. Let's change the list around. This has got to go first. Okay. So if you embrace this, not only will you remain productive, you will see that reflected in your business and your professional relationships, as well as your bottom line. Okay. So that's pretty much it for today. That's today's Live with Laura. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and I hope that this really helped. Our 3 steps to organizing a productive day. It's really something that we need right now. So I hope it helps. You can take what you learned with you or not. But I'm always here to make sure that I can help you succeed in any way. Please contact me. And don't forget, I've got my 3-day business challenge coming up. December 7th to 9th, 2020. It's 1 hour a day, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And it's going to be great, because I'm going to help you recognize where you want to be in your business and work through some of the things that are holding you back. So over these 3 days, I'm going to push you. You're going to push yourself. You're going to dive into things and really get into the meat of what's going on with you, and making a clear path to success and leadership. And I can't wait to see you guys step into your power. It's going to be amazing. So I'll put the link for registration below. And I just wanted to say it's been a pleasure once again sharing time with you. Please like my YouTube page, or subscribe to my YouTube page. I'm looking for subscribers to get the message out there about how to help more people be successful in their business and in their leadership. That's it for today for me. Join me next week when we talk about lists and calendars and why you need them to succeed. Until then, stay safe, have a happy, productive week, and take care. Bye for now.